Such an interesting day to have. It's quite sunny, and I hope that from wherever you are, you're enjoying your morning. I am in right here. Today I'm not standing in for Rena Hicks because she's here with us. So we're going to have a conversation with her. And you know, the question that we asked today and we call out to do is to tell us whatever investment question you need answered today, because we're going to do that. And so today's an interesting session, and it's our last Money Live session. Of course, that's not the end. There will be more and more, as Rena has promised. And so we're going to have an interesting time, just really answering your question. What so far across the line have you learned? Anything that you need clarified? This is the time. Now, before I jump in and introduce my guest, let me call her that, I would want to urge you to do something. Anything good is worth sharing. So if you're on Facebook, wherever you are, click on that share button. Rena, good to have you here.
It's good to be here. I'm not used to being on the hot seat on this show. So
yes, the receiving end.
On the receiving end, but I'm ready. I'm ready for your questions.
Okay. So first of all, how have you been, especially in line of how this year has been? A lot of people hit hard and all that kind of thing. Yourself, in your own perspective, first of all, how have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've been good.
Yeah.
Despite the circumstances.
Yeah.
The year began with a lot of energy. I had so much psyche and hope for what's to come.
Yeah.
In fact, my theme for the year was fruitfulness, and I knew that it's going to be a fruitful year.
Mm-hmm.
And then in April,
Yeah.
I remember looking at my vision board and saying, hey,
Yeah.
I need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And I think accepting really quickly that things were thick
Yeah.
was helpful.
Yeah.
It was hard. But you know, in many ways, it has been a fruitful year when I look back.
Okay.
However, I've experienced a lot of loss. You know, in fact, just yesterday, we had a service for a good friend and a member of our life group who passed away.
Okay.
And it's been tough. There's been many losses, not necessarily because of COVID, but just generally in this year, at least every other week, there's somebody that I know, a friend's father, a friend's mom, you know,
Yeah.
a friend. So it's been a bit hard from that perspective. So that's me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know so many people as well were hoping, had plans, goals. Personally, also had a lot.
Yeah.
That this whole pandemic has really slowed out a lot of things. And I just hope that you know, we can send our regards to the people who have lost even loved ones at this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, you know, looking at what you've just said about doing that, I want to ask you something that is a little bit off tangent. When Corona hit this country, were you among the people, because I did, who had to stock up a few things?
Of
here
course.
and there, cereals,
What are you saying? That day, forget the following day.
Yes.
That day, I found myself in South B at a wholesale shop.
Yes.
On a queue. I think it took me 3 hours to get everything I needed.
Okay. Okay.
But absolutely, I was like, hiya.
Yeah.
You know, a case has been found in Canada. You know, I guess with everything we were seeing happening in China especially, and as it was spreading, that fear was in me. So quickly went, stocked up.
Okay.
I think for 2.5 months I didn't have to go to the shops, other than for the vegetables and fruits.
Okay.
But yes, I was one of those.
It would be interesting to actually hear from any of our viewers what crazy thing you did. But let's just...
I didn't buy toilet paper though.
Oh, you did?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, not at least in bulk. I bought what we needed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So if you have any interesting link, please share. Now, let's jump into the subject of the day. And I had a few preamble questions before we get questions from the viewers, because today it's all about you. And one of it is this: what key observations or lessons have you made this year? Now, of course, with regards to the season we're talking about, and this being wise when it comes to money. Looking at the year, looking at the season, and what are these key observations that you have made?
Yeah. I think the first key observation I have made is that we are very resilient as people. I think one of the immediate things I started to see was how a lot of companies had to cut down on staff or reduce salaries. We did it as well. Because first, you don't know whether you're going to make any revenues.
Absolutely.
You don't know whether you're going to shut down as a business. And so drastic measures had to be taken by a lot of SMEs. And And so one of the things I have noticed is Kenyans are really very resilient.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of employees have worked on half salary,
Yeah.
half their income, others even less than that, others zero.
Yeah.
For I'm sending you home. I mean, you can imagine all the teachers that had to go home because schools have closed.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not too sure what's going to happen next. So I think for every employee who's had to cut down salaries,
Yeah.
or even send people home on unpaid leave, is when we do recover, because we will, and a vaccine is coming soon, is to reward those people. I think the second observation I have made is the fact that in every opportunity, in every crisis, really truly, there's an opportunity. I know at some point in the year, people were like rolling their eyes when you said that. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, really, can you be practical? But the reality is it's true. I was speaking to an entrepreneur a short while ago, and he was saying to me that 2020 has been an amazing year for them as a company. They've actually doubled their earnings in comparison to 2019, right? So even as we see that it's been a difficult year, there for those others who it's been a fantastic year and they're soaring. I mean, when you look at the number plates of cars, you know, they are still continuing to to go further into the KDs and so on. And I mean, if you're in Kenya, it just means that people are buying new cars and carrying on with investing, and construction is still going on. And so, those are the observations I've made. I think the other observation is for myself, and I remember sharing this in another forum, how I realized that I've kind of just been working and talking to people that my colleagues, and saying hi and moving on, and I don't really stop and ask, how are you really doing? And this season is one of those where we really need to know and understand, how are you doing? It's not just about people. It's about also understanding that we need to understand how people are doing, help one another, work together, because it's not easy. And it's not just using people so that I get revenue or I make an income. It's how can we together work together so that we both mutually benefit from this situation, or whatever it is that we're trying to do.
Very important. And I think, as we have heard, there has also been a rise on people really not doing well, even mentally and all those kind of things. And I think it's good to check up on people as well. Well, please allow me. Today I'm going to throw you left, right, and center, everything around.
No problem.
And this is just to charge our people who are viewing that today is your day to ask any question with regards to investments, money, anything. Rena is here to answer that. So let me now push you off tangent again, and let's talk about insurance.
Okay.
And insurance policies. And I ask this question because there are so many. I mean, some of them are enduring. There's bereavement, there's education and all. And, you know, people advising you, you better take this, you better take this, all that. And I want to ask you, as a coach, what would be your advice when it comes to considering insurance?
So first of all, what is insurance? Insurance is a tool that is available to us to manage risk. It's a risk management tool. So what am I saying? It's you take insurance to help you in a situation that could happen that is unexpected. And so when I'm thinking about insurance to take, it has to be based on my circumstance, my need, and my desire to protect myself from a certain risk. Not because Kamodo from I don't know which insurance company, as an agent, has pushed me for the last 6 months and I need to get rid of him, and so I take the insurance policy.
My cousin sells insurance, so I better support.
So I better support them. No. It's what situation am I in, what circumstance do I find myself in, and therefore need to take insurance. So let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say I run a business. And in my business, there's one particular employee who is very, very key in the sense that he has a very, very unique skill and competence that I can't easily find elsewhere. And if I lost that person, it will take me 12 months or even 18 months to recover, and I could potentially lose all my business. That's a key person in my business. And so do you know what I can do? That's a risk, right? If they died, got sick, had an accident. So what I can do is get what we call key man insurance. And I can get key man insurance, pay that insurance premium, so that should something happen to him, for those 18 months that I will not be able to have an income, I have an income coming in from my insurance company. That's how insurance works.
You call it key man?
Key man insurance. Insurance is fantastic. However, people need to understand it's not an investment, it's a risk management tool. Another example, I'm a single mom, right? For example, and I have 4 children. And fine, right now I have a great job, but I don't know that I will continue to have this great job or that I will be able to be in great health forever.
Yeah.
And because I don't have another person that I can lean on, I don't have parents I can lean on, I don't have, so in my situation, I am it.
Yeah.
I am plan A and plan B.
Everything.
So in that situation, I have to have an education policy so that should something happen to me, my children's education is taken care of.
That's true.
And I ensure that my children have an education, whether I am there or not. And so an education policy then becomes very, very critical for me, or even an insurance policy, because then a life insurance policy, is very, very critical for me. So please assess your situation, your circumstance, and then take. So for somebody who is single, has no children, has no dependents at all, what business do you have getting an education policy?
Well,
and you're 45 and single and have no dependents. You have no business getting an education.
There.
Why?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So don't take it because somebody is pushing. Take it because you understand it, and it then is actually solving an issue for you where risk is concerned.
Okay. And I have a follow-up question on that, because sometimes, I must confess, my first insurance, I really did it out of favor because somebody was selling.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad one. It was a life insurance policy. But the documents they brought, it's jargon you couldn't even understand. I just looked at the person and said, I trust you, you're not getting me into something. And that was a mistake, let me say. Well, later on I went to read through what did I actually sign up for. Why is it so complicated? Why do they give us all these things? Is there not a simple way of just understanding these things? I'm just throwing it to you.
So I think insurance in itself, the concept and how it works is not easy. It's complex. Actual science is a science.
It's a science.
Yeah. It's a process of trying to estimate what kind of, in what instance are these people we're insuring going to claim the money and so on and so forth. And so there's lots of disclaimers and lots of terms and things and conditions and whatever that have to be there. And so it's not a simple thing. However, you just need to take time to read those documents and just understand, what am I covered for? What are the exclusions, what they call exclusions, which means they're excluded from the policy. And take time, if that person has not explained to you, find somebody who is neutral, who can take time to take you through all the different clauses. This is what it means. And neutral, I mean they're not earning a commission from you taking that policy, because they'll be real with you and tell you. You asked me that question and I remembered something. 2 weeks ago, I was training a certain company, and I remember talking about insurance companies and their benefits and what they offer us. And this lady said, but what are you talking about that it's not an investment? Excuse me, I have a life insurance policy with a certain insurance company, and they're giving me 20% per annum.
Whoa.
I was like, excuse me?
That's good.
As return. I told her there's no way on this planet an insurance company is giving you a savings product that will give you 20% return. So I told her, listen.
That's a red flag.
Well, either a red flag or a lack of understanding. But it cannot be a red flag because insurance companies are regulated, right? They're not just fly-by-nights that come and sell you products such as those. They are well-regulated, solid companies that cannot, why would they do that? They can't just lie about a return. So when I told her, send me the document that you received that explains the product, only to understand and read and see that what she thought was 20% return was a 20% drawdown that she can do after every, I think after the 5th year, she can draw down 20%, and they call it a bonus. But it's not, it's not a bonus. It's not a bonus. It's just that if you are investing for the next 20 years and you've got an insurance policy that's like an endowment fund, you actually are able to withdraw a certain amount of money periodically. But that's not a return.
It's not a return.
No, it's not a return. So your return still ends up being, something like 8% or 6% or depending on how they perform. But the 20% is not a return. So when she understood that, she was like, oh, and then so she's like, okay.
And she had already signed in though.
Yes, Maina, insurance is a cost. Are you understanding me?
Yes.
This company that's insuring you is taking a risk and saying, should something happen to you or to a situation that you're trying to prevent, we as an insurance company promise to pay you this money for the next, I don't know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So it has to cost something. Okay. And so if you're putting money with an insurance company, some of that money goes towards the insurance policy to protect you from that risk, and that's a cost, right? And then some of that goes into a saving. And so there's no way you can make even 10% from those sorts of returns when it's an insurance policy. It can't work because it's an insurance policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So key takeouts: assess yourself, get to know your needs, so that at least you can take what is proper. And I think the second thing is just don't jump in, get to understand what you're getting yourself into.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's now jump into something different. Savings accounts in banks. I have people who have told me, you know what, you need to look at how wealthy people make money. They put a lot of money sometimes in savings accounts, and there's this compound and all that. I'm just throwing it to you because I've had all these things. I don't know what's your comment on that when it comes to personal savings and where best to keep it.
Personal savings. Okay, so I'm assuming you can't take too much risk with this money.
Yeah, maybe this is a savings that you have, and maybe you're thinking, actually, the point is to make money out of those savings. And so there are these fixed accounts that you can put, and probably they have a return. What's your comment on that?
So, I think, let me answer it widely.
Okay.
And say this. With every asset you have, whether that is savings accounts, stock market investments, real estate, you have buildings, and your business, every single asset you own is what called, now you put these assets in a portfolio. Okay. And your assets that are in this portfolio that you have, or your portfolio of assets, needs to do three things. One, it needs to be able to meet your basic needs. What do I mean by that? If something happens and you lose your income, your assets need to be able to pay for you to buy food. Oh yeah. Right? Or
for
rent.
Life to go on, yes.
And for life to, basic needs to be catered for. Yeah. Shelter, food, education. Those are basic needs. They must be covered. And so at the worst, number one, your assets must cover your basic needs. Number two, your assets must be able to help you sustain your current standard of living. Okay. Right? Yeah. Because you don't want a situation where you're enjoying this kind of life, you live in that certain neighborhood, and then suddenly you've gone 16 steps down, you can't afford to take your children to school, they can't go to school because you can't afford to. No. If you get sick, you go into depression. And so you want to ensure that whatever the kind of standard of living you have, for the foreseeable future, you will continue to afford to live that way. So what kind of investments are those? And then lastly, you want to be able to invest in things that can potentially create amazing wealth for you. Okay. Substantial wealth creation. Okay. Now, when you talk about savings accounts, now let's come back to your question. Yes. When you talk about savings accounts, given those three things, what do you think the savings account is for?
Well, I don't know. It's
basic needs.
Basic needs, definitely. Basic needs. Rainy days,
for a rainy day, and also money that you want to perhaps have available when an opportunity arises. Absolutely. So there's no way you're going to make money, become wealthy by putting your money in a savings account, or even a money market fund, or even the stock market. Whoa. It doesn't make you an overnight success. I'm not going to buy a G-Wagon, for example, because I had invested in a money market fund, or because I had invested in the stock market. By the way, I might be very lucky, but the truth is, hardly. The kind of returns that you make for those are returns that help you sustain your current standard of living. Okay. If you want to do magic and be wealthy, then you need to invest in higher risky opportunities, invest in generating an additional income, invest in a business, for example, but not the stock market or money market funds or a savings account. Those things will not make you rich, but they will protect you from having a situation where inflation has gone up, the economy is in a recession, and you're not able to afford your basic needs, and you have to change your standard of living. Absolutely. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
But know this, savings accounts do not give you the best returns. Okay. It's a great place to put money, to park money for doing something that you need to do quickly. But there's other ways you can also grow your money faster. So for example, a money market fund. So if you put your money in a money market fund, you will certainly get more interest than putting your money in a savings account earning 3%. Right?
Okay, I like that percentage.
So yeah.
Right, I think, so the point here is to say, look for better investment opportunities of your money instead of just putting it there hoping that that interest would make you some better money. There are many other options outside there.
There are. And,
Okay.
and I want to just plug this in now.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even after I've said what I've said,
Yeah.
somebody's sitting back and saying, okay, what has she even said? How does that apply to me personally? How do I go and now apply those things? Okay, so those 3 things, basic needs and standard of living and wealth creation. I want to help you.
Yeah.
Just what I've talked about and so much more
Yeah.
is stuff that we are actually have put together in a course, in a program.
Oh, yeah.
Over the last, over 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working really hard
Yeah.
with a fantastic group of people called Africa's Pocket.
Okay.
And we are putting together a course. In fact, actually, we're done. And we're just doing the finishing touches. February of 2021, we
Wow.
launched. Now I'm serious.
Yes.
We're done. February 2021, we launched this program. So that you're not wondering, okay, so do I put in a savings account? What do I do with this money? Do you know, the other day, somebody called me and said, I have some money, I want to invest. I'm thinking I'm going to put the money in a home in Shags. I'm like, what are you doing?
What for?
Build a home in Shags that you'll spend three times, 3 nights in a year.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Why do Kenyans do these kinds of things? Why build a house in the... so that what? And he said, he laughed and he said,
Yeah.
it's interesting you should say that. People build in shags so that somebody can use that house as directions. By the way, ukiona kwa kina nani,
Yeah,
pita
mabati ya
hapo,
blue.
uende,
Yes,
mabati ya
yes.
blue, kwa kina it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We don't need to spend money building a house where you will never live.
Yeah.
Invest in a home, yes, but that you can rent out and have people live in and
Make some money out of
pay
it.
you
Yeah.
an income. In fact, that's what we call a dead asset. It's dead.
Yeah.
So please don't invest in land that you're not going to get an income from or have no plan to get an income from, or in a home that you're not going to live in. It doesn't make sense at all. So those sorts of things are things that we address in the program, and I would highly, highly recommend it to all of you. And so yes, we are currently have opened a wait list because we want to be able to have a certain number of people for the first class.
Okay.
And so if you are at all interested, please send an email to sema@moneywise.co.ke and we'll send you details on how you can register and how what you need to do in terms of when we're going to start and so on. So send an email to sema@moneywise.co.ke and we will help you to get registered.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's nothing complicated. I think that's
It's
a
not.
absolutely.
It's not complicated. It's
Yeah.
just a lack of understanding of how do you actually do this. For me, when I understood it, I was just like, my goodness. Like, it just gives you peace to know, actually, I just need to plan myself properly and know when I receive an income, I know exactly where it's going to go. If I get 2 million today, if you come with a briefcase with 2 million, I'm not going to struggle. What do I do with it? Where do I put it? Do I buy land? I have a plan.
You have a plan already.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to put it here. And then even if I don't have an investment opportunity yet, I know exactly where that money is going to go. Okay. And that's the kind of thing that we will enable those who go through this program to have that sort of clarity.
Wow.
And confidence.
I think it's an urge and a call to our viewers that, listen, don't say that you never had a chance to learn. There's never an ending to learn. Such a course is worth your money, to save even your more money that you'll be earning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And save you losses.
Absolutely.
Right? So that you're not putting your money in things that they tell you are giving you 20% return and yet you're not really going to earn 20%.
Okay.
And also how to evaluate the different investment opportunities, what risks to watch out for.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope that we are running our contacts down here so that at least you can send in your email or questions that you may have about joining this particular course. Now, as you were speaking, you talked about recession. You mentioned a word like recession.
Yeah.
And that was actually my last question, but I want to throw it now here because the CS, I think it was last week, where he said boldly that Kenyans, brace yourselves for tough times.
The CS of
finance.
Okay.
Yes, Kuria Tani, that's his name. I want to ask you, as an advisor, so that you can help us and even the viewers, what a recession is, and what does this mean, and what should we do during this particular season of tough times?
Okay.
Yes, and first of all, by the way, the question should be, are we in a recession?
Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
It's funny, 2 years ago, and I have to remember to put the link of this video on this on this video once it's up on YouTube.
Yeah.
2 years ago, September 2018, I was on my way to Tenwek.
Yeah.
And I remember deciding I'm going to shoot a video in the car talking about recession, because I was like, guys, we are actually getting into a recession.
Yeah.
We're going into a recession, and you need to prepare because we're going into a recession.
Yeah.
What is a recession?
Okay.
A recession, defined by economists in very academic terms,
Yes.
is a downward trend in the gross domestic product, or GDP, for 2 consecutive quarters.
Yeah.
So you hear, yeah, the economy has grown at 5% from 2019 to 2020. This is just an example. Now, a recession is where the economy has contracted consistently, as opposed to growing, it has gone down consistently for 2 consecutive quarters.
Okay.
Once you do that for 2 consecutive quarters, it is said that you're going into a recession. Reality is, guys, fact, we are going into a recession. In fact, even if it was not for COVID, we would still be in a recession right now because of various things. And I will not get into them right now. But we are in a recession. And what does that then mean? What happens when you're in a recession? When you're in a recession, it basically means that companies are not generating as much revenue as they were. So you find that there's reduced incomes, reduced salaries, reduced production, reduced manufacturing, reduced visitors, reduced earnings, right? When that happens, people have less money to spend. And so we don't have people going on holidays, for example. Supermarkets are not making as much in returns as they were before. And it has a ripple effect on every single part of the economy. And when that happens, then it means that you don't have as much disposable income as you had before. So why should I care? Why should I care? Because your company, if you're employed, might not be able to afford to keep you. And they might say, my friend, I am so sorry, but we have to restructure here, redundancy, or we are letting go of half our staff. So that's what happened. There's job losses as a result of a recession. And so what should you then do? If you're not yet experiencing what I am talking about, you are very fortunate. And so what you should then do is save more. If you're fortunate to have an income right now, save.
Save now.
Save, and save aggressively. I know we're in December. I know people need Christmas presents, and we need to go shags and see our shoshos and our gukas and give them something. And I know that we're, Christmas season, people feel like they need to go on holiday. Imagine it's okay, go on holiday, but instead of going to an expensive holiday where you would spend 200,000 shillings, cut back, especially for those who are still doing okay. Cut back and go on holiday in a simpler way. Because we don't know how long we're going to be here. We don't know how long it's going to take for us to get this vaccine. We're in Africa. I don't know. Reality is true. We don't know. And so we don't know how long it's going to take before we recover. The reality is, Maina, we are facing a possible referendum in 2021. We're going into a politicking season, and then elections in 2022. There's generally cycles in this country of 5 years. Every time we go into a recession, an election season, the economy tends to take a bit of a dip. People are afraid, they take their money out of the country, and So if you can't save more, number 2, invest more. Because while still, yes, it's a crazy season, you find that there's opportunities. Like I said, in every crisis, there's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity.
So which companies can you find or can you see that even in this season are going to be able to make some money? And even if their returns, their income has gone down or their revenue has gone down, when we start to recover, they'll recover really quickly. Which are those kinds of companies? And so if I speak about perhaps the stock market, which is the easiest to be able to invest in, look at financial services. And I'll give you a few examples. Equity Bank, for example, 2 years ago, I think was about 62 shillings per share. Today, we're looking at 34.50 shillings per share. Yes, circumstances have changed. Yes, revenues have not grown as what was expected because of the events of the day and the situation that we're in. However, when recovery starts to happen, guess what? The stock will start to
Starts going up.
So anybody who wants to invest, invest in the stock market. And by the way, you're not limited to the Kenyan stock market. We as a firm, FIDA Investment Bank, can allow you or can facilitate you to invest in foreign markets. You want to buy Facebook? You want to buy Apple? You want to buy Tesla?
Now
you want to buy
possible?
whatever Yes.
Okay.
Globally,
Wow.
we can buy stocks for you. And so you write to us, info@fib.co.ke, and buy stocks. If you want to buy stocks in Europe or in the US, we can assist you to do that.
Can I allow me to just interject before you give the third thing people need to know?
Yeah.
Because that has been a question that people are asking a lot. Do you facilitate people to invest in foreign accounts, in foreign, stocks? And that's good news that now it's possible.
It is possible.
Through what you've just spoken about, FIDA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're buying the stock. You're not buying a derivative or any other instrument, and it's not a mutual fund. You're buying, you have access to the stock itself.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's good news.
So thirdly, the first one was save more. Second
Save
one
more,
is invest more.
Invest more. Yeah.
The third one is, please, if you still have an income or access to any kind of income, please pay down your debt.
Okay.
Pay down your debt as fast as you can and prioritize it. Don't push it back. Don't say, I'll do it later. Pay down your debt. Because when you're in debt and you're in a situation such as we're in, it's likely interest rates are going to go up.
Okay.
And so we will find you might have a loan and you're enjoying 12.5%, 13%. It might not always be that way.
It might change.
It might change. And so if you can pay down your debt, in fact, if you have now the kind of debt I'm sure a lot of people also have is debt with microfinance institutions, with SACCOs. If you can pay it down so that you're able to then start to invest and take advantage of time and compound interest to grow more. And then fourth, I would say, is find an additional income source.
Very important.
It's so important because you might lose your job. Your business might be disrupted and you're not able to earn an income as you were before.
Yeah.
So even for your business, you could still do it within your business.
Yeah.
So if your business, for example, is broilers and you sell chicken, meat to restaurants, you will have to diversify. So if you're selling to restaurants and restaurants are not doing as well as they were before, then start delivering. So do deliveries. That's diversification, home deliveries.
Okay.
And perhaps you might find that broilers are not giving you such a good margin in this season. There's so much competition because there's a lot of supply. Then diversify, do kienyeji.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or go into pork. I don't know. I'm not in that business. But I'm just saying, find an additional income source, a different way to earn money from what you were doing before.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you could get into trouble.
All right.
And if you're working, find a way to earn an income doing something else.
Okay.
You know, what service can you offer? What can you do to be able to find an additional income source? On the weekend, you could sell something. I don't know. Okay. Find an additional income source. Okay. Very, very key.
Well, I hope you've taken your takeouts. I just want to interject and just tell our viewers that, listen, today it's dedicated for you. It's our last MoneyWise Live for just this year because this is December. And by the way, I just want to throw something to the viewers today. You know, we have had these live sessions now for 3 months, and it's courtesy of Rina. If you've benefited in any way, it's not a Merry Christmas message, but I think it would be okay to tell Rina how this has been impactful for you. So if you're there and you're watching and you have something that you want to tell her, why not? I would be reading out your comments. But first of all, send in your questions as well, because Rina is here to answer all our questions today. And thank you so much for those particular tips on how to really be prudent when it comes to this recession. And by the way, watch out. The CS has said it, Rina has given you the advice of what you need to do. Let me throw in another question before I get into the comments. I want to talk about dollars. There's a time here that somebody said that, I think there was an advice that one of the ways of diversifying your investment portfolio is also investing the dollar accounts and all. Now we're seeing the shilling really going way up against the dollar and all that. Down. And are people making money from this? I just want to throw it from a layman point of view. Should people invest in dollar accounts? What's your view?
So in my book, which, you know, it's my show, so I can do this. MoneyWise, create, grow, and preserve wealth.
Absolutely.
MoneyWise, preserve, grow, and
make wealth.
Create,
yes,
grow, and preserve wealth.
Yeah.
When I wrote this book, I wrote it and launched it in 2016.
Yeah.
For 10 years, I did a bit of research and looked at different African countries.
Yeah.
And I looked at these countries for 6 years going back. 6 years going back. I looked at the Kwacha, I looked at the Naira, I looked at the South African Rand, the Kenya shilling, Tanzania shilling, every single African currency. And when I looked at all of them, the major ones, every single one of them in sub-Saharan Africa had depreciated over those 6 years. In fact, the lowest depreciation was 30%. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some had lost even 100%.
Wow, that's a lot.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what am I saying? If you are in this region or an emerging country, emerging economy, you must save in hard currency. Some of your money needs to go towards saving in hard currency. The reality is, if within those 6 years, if the first year, in January, forget 6 years ago, in January of 2020, if you had put $1 in your drawer and then left it, today you would have 9% higher. Wow. If you had $100, you'd have $9 that would have magically appeared in your drawer in terms of value. Right? So if in 1 year you can gain 9 to 10% by doing nothing, then what are you doing? Not having a dollar account? The reality is, because of inconsistent policies, because of threats of political instability, economic cycles that are not doing well, high debt situations in our economies, we're going to consistently find that our currency is going to depreciate consistently. Yes, those hard currencies are also depreciating in value, but ours is depreciating faster. And so you might find that there are people who are watching this and want their children to go to university abroad. Yeah? If you want your child to go to university abroad, the cost of you taking your child to that university 10 years from now is going to get higher, not just because of inflation, but because of currency depreciation. And so you need to start to invest in hard currency so that that child has an opportunity to go and you can afford it. And so it's not a question of, should I? I think you should. I think we must. And I know there are people who are listening and are going to say, Lina, what are you saying? But if you can, invest in hard currency.
That's good advice, and I think I want to reiterate that, you know what, get this book. Somebody on YouTube has just asked how you can get this book. We're going to run down our contacts, write to us, and you'll be able to get a copy, and we'll tell you how to get a copy.
In fact, if you can call the number, if you can call the number on the screen, and I need to cram this number, it's such an easy number, 011, it's there.
But it's there, it's there on the screen, so please run it.
Send a WhatsApp message, call, and we'll get a copy to you. And in fact, I do talk about the key things that people need to just be aware of when it comes to investing if you're in a third world country. One of the reasons I wrote this book was because at the time that I was going through just trying to see how can I manage my money better, I'd made so many mistakes. I looked and I just got really hungry to find information to help me. And so I started putting content together. And as I put content together, I'd find that people were sort of also in a similar situation as me. And I found that I couldn't find information that was relevant to my context. I found content that was American, Australian, British, around money and investing and saving. But it talked about stuff I couldn't relate with. And so the reason I wrote this book is because I found that I couldn't actually find anything on investing options that I could understand that was relevant to me in my context. And so this then helps you in your context know what are the different opportunities that exist. How can I invest my money? How does it work? Pros and cons. It's a great foundation for being able to think through that.
Absolutely, because it's different, you know. The context of, for example, Europe is not what we have here. And so this opens up your eyes to see how you can really invest locally. Now, I have to jump into the questions now. I had mine, many others, but now it's time to get into this because as you're speaking, so many people have asked some questions. On Facebook, we have Ben Situma, and he's asking this: is there an investment business I can venture into on part-time basis with a capital of 10K, 10,000 shillings? I don't know how you can answer him.
I mean, there is. He said capital markets?
Not capital markets.
He just said generally.
Any investment or business.
So there are many. There are so many and the options are many. So let me give you a few examples. And by the way, even as I give these examples, it's so important for people to realize that starting a business, number one, is not just about thinking of an idea, getting an idea from somebody else. We have to think of things based on our environment that we're in. So the first thing, Ben, and thank you for watching, that you need to do is check what need is around me. what need is around me, and what solution can I come up with that will meet the need that is around me. So maybe there's many kids in your neighborhood, and there are parents who have children, and perhaps going out today to go to shops is difficult, or people can't afford to buy clothes at the levels that we for. Maybe people are not going to LC Waikiki and Mr. Price and all these other places. So how can I help? These kids need clothes. They run outside, their clothes are torn. How can I help them, right? And this is just an example. I can go to Gikomba. Go and find, by the way, Gikomba has such, I've been there and bought kids clothes for my kids and washed them, and let me tell you, they're beautiful. They're amazing. Kwanza, these play clothes, because kids run through them so fast. You will find clothes for 50 bob, 80 bob, 40 bob. I bought t-shirts with collars, polo shirts, beautiful ones, 40 shillings one. You go, you wash it, iron it nicely, and sell it for 200 bob. 200, what is 200 bob for a nice shirt for my child? Honestly. See, you guys will buy. So that's just so how much money do you need? Even with 5,000, you can start. That's just one example, okay? So with 10,000 shillings, what else can you do? Can you buy shoes? Maybe somebody, it could even be shoes. It could be shoes, it could be clothes, and people spend for their children, by the way. But that's just one example. It could be anything. What need exists around you? What solution can you provide that you have the ability and the skill to do? Maybe I'm telling him to go to Kigomba, he's just saying, by the way, I don't know what you're talking about. I can never step there. But in your context, what problem or need exists, and how can you meet that need in a way that will attract people and solve that need, and you make money at the end of the day. You can start something with 10,000 for sure. Okay.
Well, I hope, Ben, you've been answered. Need assessment. What's the need around you? I think that's the takeout. Now, quick question here. We told people to ask you any question.
Yes, any. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know.
This is what Alex threw in as a question.
Okay.
What is the one challenge on investment?
What's the one challenge on investment?
The one challenge on investment.
I think the fact that, and this is for me, the fact that investing requires you to spend time and effort in research and understanding. That the thing about investing is that you can't just wake up, look at an investment opportunity that says you will earn 20% or you'll earn 15% and just put money in. There is work that needs to be done. That's the one challenge I would say. There's work. And the work is what? The work is I need to find out what is the opportunity. What are the risks? Am I willing to take those risks? What are the chances I might lose my money? How does this investment opportunity work? What other investment opportunities exist that I can take advantage of? That's work. You have to do research. You have to look around. You have to spend time studying. You have to spend time understanding and then make a decision. So the work is the challenge. The fact that you can't just wake up and invest. You need to take time to understand.
He had a follow-up question. And thanks so much, Alex, for watching. This is what he was asking. Investing with little money may take long for one to enjoy returns. What is your advice on this, bearing in mind I have a small amount of cash? Thank you.
So it sounds like he needs return.
Yeah, and it feels like, little money does not make, enjoy long term. I mean,
so like if you have 3,000 shillings, investing in a Makiba that you earn 10%, it's just 300 bob in a whole year. I mean, really, what are we talking about? So you need more money. How do you get more money? So invest the little money, yes. But the reason you're investing that little money in the money markets is so that you maintain your money and help it grow at least higher than inflation. And inflation is currently like 5%. So as long as it grows at least 7 and above, then we're okay. But you need more money. So you need to think, what opportunities can I look for that can help me generate additional income? Because you cannot, again, I'm not going to buy G-Wagon from a little money and investing the little money in money markets. I need to find a way to create wealth. Is it what skills do I have? What do I have right now? Am I a photographer? Am I a hairdresser? There's a hairdresser I saw the other day who I used to go to when I had permed hair. And he was very good. Today, he is a brand ambassador for huge global brands. Advertising, marketing, he's doing so well. Hairdresser, doing so well because he looked at his situation. He's like, I have an opportunity. I'm great at what I do, and I can be the best at it. What is it that you're good at doing? What are you skilled in right now? How can you upskill yourself? What other competencies can you gain so that you build the already existing skill to be the best there is of that skill and that person that you have, so that you're well sought after, even if you are a vegetable vendor. There's a gentleman who provides us with vegetables. Such a fantastic guy. His name is Nyaga. Oh my goodness. And I pray that the Lord will bless him beyond his wildest dreams. Nyaga used to sell paper bags in Gara Market. Okay? Yeah. Now, if he took that money that he's earning, maybe 3 bob a day, 10, I don't know, 100 bob a day, and invested it in money market, is it going to help his life?
No.
Not at all. He has to find a way to grow himself.
First,
Today, Nyaga has a car and his own stall and delivers vegetables and fruit all over Nairobi.
Wow.
Okay? And he's growing because he took time to think through, how can I move from here to here?
Yeah.
So now he needs to think now between here and here, what does he need to do? How can he get other stalls? How can he go further into the value chain to be able to start going now to the farm and so on, so that he's able to grow his business and grow his wealth. Sometimes people, I think that if I just put my money, the one I have earned, in that investment opportunity and do nothing, I can be wealthy. No.
No way.
No.
Yeah.
We have to think and find ways to add additional income.
Absolutely.
It's not about just investing.
Yeah.
You need to create the wealth or invest in a business and find ways to be able to generate another income or grow your current income, so that then you're able to...
You have some passive income to invest in the money markets.
Yeah.
Alex, well answered, and even for many others. I like that. And by the way, Nyaga, good job.
Maybe if you need vegetables, Nyaga is amazing.
Shout out to Nyaga. All right, on YouTube again, we have Deborah Atieno. Question, what are the best stocks to watch in Kenya?
Oh dear.
And by the way, there are quite a number of questions. You have to be very straight, short to the point.
Okay, sorry. So this one I'm afraid of answering because this YouTube video is going to be up for a very long time, and so I might name a particular stock. Okay. And then 5 years from now, someone says, I listened to your video and you said this stock and they've gone under.
I know.
Because the thing with stocks is that it's managed by humans. We make mistakes. There's, the variables that affect the stock market are many. But let me put it this way. In this season, right now, 2020, if you're looking at financial services, telecoms, people in technology, those are companies that you want to start to invest in. Because, and even if it's not in technology per se, but is leveraging on technology to deliver its product or its services, is a company that you should consider investing in. Because I guess the way to answer this question is, what do you look for when you're looking at a company to invest in? Is it in an industry that is growing? Is it a service that we will continue to need for the foreseeable future? Is it run well? Are they growing in their revenues? Sales, are sales growing? And is it a company that is continually innovating and has a strategy that's going to continue to help them to grow in the future? And so when you look at that and it ticks all those boxes, then the question is, the price that it is at right now, does it make sense for me to buy? And how do you know that? You have to look at the future, the past, and see how has it been trading and now. So what I would answer to that question is, please write to us or call us, FIDA Investment Bank, and we have research analysts, we have dealers who are here who are constantly looking at the opportunities in the stock market, and we can help you make a decision on what stocks to buy and how to invest. In investing in the stock market in particular, because of where we are right now, I advise you to buy, but buy slowly over the next 2 years. Okay. Right? Okay. Buy slowly, consistently, keep buying, and you will find that once we finally get out of this recession, you will be happier for it. Okay. So call us, write to us. Now I'm giving so many emails, but it's info@FIB. And even if you write to us on sema@moneywise.co.ke, we will direct you to the right people, and you'll be able to invest in the stock market and get help.
Absolutely. And I would also want to tell Deborah that just a few weeks back, we had a session all about shares. Yes. And you can get to know, there was all that question as well on what stocks to look out for. So please take some time and listen in as well, even as you write. There are many options for you. There is Kinyo Dennis on YouTube asking, What are the best options? Now we talked about compound interest. What are the best options for compound interest-based monetary investments currently?
Where? That is so yeah, okay, so compound interest is really interest on interest.
Yes.
Right? But, okay, so what does that mean? So I invest my money, 100 bob, I earn 10% in a year. I make 10 shillings.
Yeah.
So a year from now it becomes 110.
110 now.
So if another 10%, it's now 110 earns 10%, it's 121.
Yeah.
Now, the interest of 10 earns interest. That's really what compound interest is. As opposed to, over the next 5 years, you're going to earn 10% on your 100. That's simple interest, which means over 5 years, I earn 10 bob.
Yeah.
And so after 5 years, I earn 110, as opposed to a compounding interest, which will then change how much I earn significantly, and I'll be at a very different place from the person who earned the 110 because of compound interest. Now, compound interest is just a theory that talks about interest on interest, but it's also gain on gain. So, for example, I can buy an apartment today, maybe for 1.5 million, or a unit at 1.5 million, and I hold it, start earning an interest, an income in rental income, and then after 3 years, I decide I'm selling my apartment. Maybe the apartment is now 2.5, so I sell it at 2.5. What's my gain? 1 million. So now, how much do I have? I have 2.5 million when I started with 1 million.
Yeah.
I gained what? 1 million.
1 million.
So I use the 2.5 million and put the 2.5 million in Safaricom.
Yeah.
So now I have 2.5 million, I invested in Safaricom, I'm earning interest on the 2.5 million. I buy Safaricom at 30 shillings. After 2 years, I sell it at 35 shillings. So it's 5 shillings times whatever number of shares I bought. Absolutely. And so guess what? It's compound interest. It's the same thing. It's your gain earning more. And so it's not only on interest-bearing opportunities, it's also in anything that you do. So it's just compounding returns, compounding returns. And so you can buy chicken or buy chicks, one-day-old chicks, feed them, they grow, you sell them, then you earn. Okay, so what do I do? Do I buy more chicken? Okay, let me buy layers. Okay, buy layers. So it's not just about money markets. It's really ability to invest in something, and that thing grows, and you make a return and reinvest that. The problem that we do that prevents us from earning compounding interest or compounding return is that you invest. Let's give my first example for the house, 1.5. Then it grows. I sell it for 2.5. What do I do with a million? Most people, I made $1 million. Let me go on holiday and let me spend on and let me enjoy. Let me take my children to another school because there's this money coming. And so you then eat into your returns and you don't benefit from compound interest. The more you can reinvest, the more you will earn. Sorry, Mine, I know you have many questions to ask me, so I've stopped.
I know. I'm even trying to read through, getting off guard, all those kind of things. But Kenya, that was a loaded question. I think if you have more questions, the context. And then I'm sure Rina will be able to respond to you. Now, Mwesiga Samson is asking on Facebook, how good is investment in shares and bonds? What do you advise?
Wow.
How good?
So first, the bond video, please.
Yes.
You have to watch it. Investing in bonds. Yes. Investing in bonds. We have a fantastic video that is on investing in bonds. Please take a look at it. Again, as I said earlier, the kind of investment opportunity you invest in depends on your situation and your circumstance. It's what are you investing for? What's your goal? What do you want to be able to achieve? So if your goal is to create a situation where you're earning a consistent income, because I don't want to risk my money, I don't want to lose any money, and I want to be able to earn consistent income. Guess what? Bonds are fantastic. Maybe you received a lump sum. I have 10 million I've received, or I have $1 million I've received, or even a 500,000. I don't want to lose it, and I want to be able to earn an income on it. Then you can invest in a bond, because maybe you are risk averse, don't want to take on risk, and you'll earn a consistent income from the bond. Bonds are fantastic ways to invest without taking risk. Because the government will always pay you back if you invest in the currency of the country that the government is offering the opportunity. The stock market is different. It's for somebody who wants to take a bit more risk. You want to take a bit more risk because you want to get a bit more return. So you decide you invest in the stock market because you want to get good returns over a certain period of time. So you have a longer investment horizon, and you're willing to wait, and you're willing to take on risk. So the two are very different. One gives you an opportunity to earn consistent income, and there's no risk. And when I say no risk, it's with, no risk because you will get your money back and you will earn interest and the government will not default. However, there is risk in that you could invest in the bond this month and it's offering you 10%, and then next month they offer 10.5. And so the risk is that you've taken a bond that is giving you less return than you have, and if you waited, that's just the risk. But otherwise, you will get your money back. So my advice is this. What is your current situation? Do you have an emergency fund in place? Do you have assets available to you in terms of cash that you have access to should something go wrong? If you don't, do not invest in the stock market. First, make sure you have that sorted out. Don't invest in bonds until you have some money available to you that if you need, you have access to, so that you're not running to CBK, the Central Bank of Kenya, pleading with them to buy back your bond because you need some money, or going to your broker to sell that bond because you need some money. So before you invest in a bond, because it's a long-term product, and before you invest in the stock market, because it's also a bit long-term, it's not, investing for 3 weeks, make sure you have an emergency fund in place, worth of at least 3 months of your monthly expenses. Then you can invest in these other things. And so then, depending on your risk levels, decide, is it stocks, is it bonds? And we're happy to advise you also and help you buy those instruments. If you need to buy bonds, you want to buy equities, or you don't even know and you need help, we're here to help you.
A lot of information for you, Mwesiga, on the shares video, on the bonds video. Just go check it out. He had another follow-up question though, and I like it. It says, should one invest in Landfast or start business to grow money? I think it's in line with the fact that you said you need to think of having an extra, source of income. So should one invest in land first or start business to grow money? What would you advise between the two? So
that's a difficult one for me to answer, because first, do you know what business you would start? Do you have an idea? Have you done your research to find out whether research in terms of market research, what really is the opportunity in this business? What will you be selling? What's the competition like? What is the potential market that you have? Where will you sell? What are you selling? Where will you source it from? What are the cost of the raw materials? What likely cost of goods will you have? What likely margins are you going to make? I mean, what are you asking me?
You got questions to answer.
You have questions to answer. So I need to first do my research to understand all those things before I decide this one or this one. And then with land, and then that's a dead asset, my friend.
Can I try something on this, by the way? If you're buying land, for example, in, I don't know, down there in Kajedo's, where land, the value is almost zero, where are you going to sell it?
So I think land is a good investment. Please don't get me wrong. But what is your plan?
What's your plan with it? Okay.
What is your plan? I'm buying it so that I can build. Is it in a densely populated area? Will you get tenants when you build? Is it next to amenities so that when you build you will have tenants and the value of the land will go up? Is there impending developments around that area? Again, these questions to, resellable, how will you be able to sell? So for example, a lot of people will hear on TV or watching the news, land available in I don't know which area, only 250,000 for 10 by 3 acre size plot, so tiny. So first of all, those sizes that you're buying with 1,000 other people, okay? Who are you going to sell to when you want to sell? If you're buying to sell, you have to ask yourself that question. Are you buying to sell or are you buying to build? Is it land for a home? I mean, there's questions you have to ask yourself. What are you investing in that land or piece of land to do? And then see, based on what you want to do with it, does it make sense? Is this the best opportunity for me to get into with the money that I have? And is this place I am looking at as an opportunity, really an opportunity? Or am I going to be in a mess? And then there's added problems with it's been over-subdivided, illegally subdivided. I don't even know, many other things. You get a certificate. How are you going to sell if you need to sell? So there are questions that need to be asked there.
Mwesiga, please write to us if you have any other questions. There are so many questions, and guess what? Time, my lord. Now, Lilian Mutuku, where can I buy your book? Just call on those contacts, and also Textbook Center.
Yes, Textbook Center, Amazon in case you're not in Kenya, Kindle as well if you have a Kindle or Kindle app, it's available online. Call the number that is on your screen or write to us, sema@moneywise.co.ke.
We asked people to also give you a message of whether they have learned anything from you and all. Patty Madegi on Facebook.
Oh,
Rina.
thank you, Patty. I feel like I know Patty. I see her every Friday. Thank you so much for always being consistent and for the comments, the engagements. I am so grateful.
Yeah. One of these Fridays we'll have a meet and greet, right?
I know, we should when we get the vaccine.
I know. So thank you for giving me heads up on investments and savings. That's what she has said. So receive
You're
those
welcome.
things, all right?
You're welcome.
Yeah. Mwesiga has a question. I feel like I should have read some of those. There's so many. You go and read later on some of these thank you messages. And please keep sending them. Tell Rina what she has. She means to you through all these videos she's been doing. Mwesiga Samson asks, please share the details on investment in outside stock like Facebook. I think they can write to you, is it?
I didn't hear. The question is...
I think the question is investing globally, like on Facebook shares
yes,
and all
yes,
that.
They can write to us, info@fib.co.ke, and I'll have somebody call and explain what the options are, what the opportunities are, how you can invest, how do you open an account. Yes. Okay,
that's good enough for you. Agnes Wangeshi on Facebook question. Where can I get, the book again? I think we have given that.
Yes.
Go to the contacts. And Kim, it's a comment on Facebook. Save more, invest more. Don't accumulate debt and add an additional stream of income.
Yes.
Good student.
Yes. One more thing I should add to that is get a skill. Add to what you already know to do.
Okay.
Upskill. Read. Take a free course. Just better yourself, whether you're employed or in business, because it will enable you to access an opportunity to generate more income, get a higher salary, get more clients, widen your client base. So get more skills. Okay, I'm just going to read through. Safari Yangu, I have seen this name again and again, by the way. Shout out to you as well. Rina, thank you so much for the live series. It's been really eye-opening. Victoria Kipsega, it's a comment. I'm really grateful for Rina. Now, please receive these things. Be ready for this. I'm really grateful for Rina through MoneyWise. I got the confidence to save and invest my money and slowly developing MoneyWise mind. A MoneyWise mind, I think that's what she meant. I would love to learn more from her book. So you know where to get the book? Yeah. The contacts are there. And do you know what? Yeah. I've decided something. Yes. Just as you've read that. Yes. As my thank you for all these people for watching. Yeah. I've made a decision. Between drum roll. Between today and today is the, what day is it?
What day is it? 11th? My goodness, yes. 11th.
It's the 11th of December 2020. Between the 11th and the 24th of December, you can get my book for 50% off.
Yay!
Half price.
Half price, you get your
half price.
Book.
500 bob Christmas gift. That's my Christmas gift to all these people who have between today and the 24th. So call that number. Alice is like, Alice is my executive assistant. She's amazing. Yes. So Alice, please, you've heard me. 50% off from today until the 24th of December. It's my Christmas gift to you guys. Merry Christmas. And I hope it will make a difference. It will. This is a fantastic book, by the way.
And I also think, by the way, you can also buy someone as a gift.
Yes, as a Christmas gift.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for that offer. I'm sure we'll be getting many emails here. Yeah, I want one too. Is there a limit to the number?
No, you can buy as many as you like.
As many? Okay. All right. I'm good. There's so many comments, and thank you so much. So I'm trying to sieve through as much as I can. Let me read this on Facebook. Olive Kamene. It's a question.
Okay.
12 years ago, I invested in KQ and Umia Sugar. The shares never went up. I've actually forgotten about them. Could such an experience be the reason for some of us to avoid investing in this, in the stock, shares, foreign currency, etc.? I think you can give a comment on that.
I think so. Yeah. The reality is there's risk in every investment. Yeah. And the risk is that you could lose some or all of your money. Yeah. And risk is everywhere. Whether you start your own business, whether... risk is everywhere. Even as soon as you come out of your bed, you're facing risk. Yeah. So, yes, absolutely. People have lost money in investing in the stock market. Yeah. And not just the stock market, in other opportunities, even in SACCOs. People invest in SACCOs and lose their money. People invested in DESI and realized it's a Ponzi scheme and lost their money. Yeah. And all other kinds of Ponzi schemes. The key thing is to look at what is the opportunity I'm looking at and how much risk am I willing to take, and therefore then invest only the amount of money that if I lost, I'm not going to lose my livelihood.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you invest in risky, higher risk opportunities, then you need to know there's a potential possibility I could lose my money. Okay. When you accept that, then you know that yes, I could lose. But when you do lose, don't stop investing. Because at the same time as people lost KQ, they've made a lot of money. Absolutely. People who invested in Equity Bank, for example, in 2006, today are looking at 400% gain.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
So if you had invested some of your money in Safaricom, I mean in KQ and in Mumias, and then some in Equity Bank, for example, you would have made a huge gain. People bought Safaricom at 5 shillings when it came to the stock market. Okay. Today it's at 33, 32 shillings. Wow. So that's a huge gain.
It's a lot of gain.
So yes, there's those that have gained and there's those that have lost. The key thing is please diversify. Please invest in companies that are well run, that are in an industry that have no, political issues are not there, that is growing, and you have to keep tabs. You remember that person who asked, what's the biggest challenge with investing? The fact that you don't invest, forget about it and go away. You have to consistently look at your investments, or have somebody who's looking at them for you, but it's best if you know what you've invested in and are looking at it. Understand what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the economy. Should I continue to invest in that company, given the fact that sugar has huge political issues in it, given the fact that this company has brought airplanes that don't make sense, or whatever it is, Yes. As soon as you hear that there's drama somewhere and you've invested there, then you need to make a decision and sell, even if it's at a loss. Otherwise, then you just lose everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for that. Now, we're already past time, and I want to ask you to do this. To sort of like shoot whatever you can, because I don't want to lose some of very important things that people have raised.
All right.
So in 30 seconds, I'll even time you now, all right?
All right.
So first of all, Moisinga, thanks for the comment. He has said that, Rina, thanks so much for impacting me with knowledge on finance. It hasn't left the same. Me the same. I'm usually, I think he said it hasn't left him the same. His life has changed.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. There's another question which I think it was similar to something that you answered, and I think DJ Masterman, you can write to Sema.
Sure.
That, he was saying that, hello, Rina, thank you. If I'm able to set aside 15,000 shillings a month as passive income, which one would you advise? Money markets, shares, or stocks? I think that's a good question that you can actually write directly.
Help him.
Absolutely. Washek and Jeroge, I think this is a clarification and a question as well. Thank you. Did I hear you say we should not invest in land if we intend not to develop it?
What I'm saying is, when you're investing in land, you need to have a plan. If you're investing in it to sell, right? You need to know that you're investing in a piece of land that has potential for selling, because one, you're getting it at a lower price than the current available pieces of land around it. So if, let's say right now I'm looking for land in, I don't know, maybe Kikuyu. And land in Kikuyu is going for 12 million, and this particular parcel is going for 7 million. I'm like, I can buy it. Absolutely. Because right now, the other pieces of land are actually going for 12 million. There was a transaction that happened last week at 12 million. And so at 7 million, I'm getting it at a steal and I'll be able to sell. It needs to be clear that there is a market for that land and people are looking for that land, and I am getting it at a price that is heavily discounted because I'll be able to sell. Because even if I sold at a slightly lower price than what is the current market rate, I'm still making a gain. The key thing is to know, why am I buying this land? Am I buying it to develop it, or am I buying to sell it? If I'm buying to sell it, I have to be very careful. Because first of all, right now, who's buying land? And then where is the land? Is it somewhere where there's many people who want to buy that land? So it's a completely different ballgame if you're buying to develop and you're buying to sell. But you need to have a plan. You're not just buying to wait and see, perhaps one day. No, that's not the way to do it. It's, I'm buying to sell, and so I'm therefore looking for a price that is actually below current market value.
Now we have to end, but I want to end with some of the good comments that our viewers have sent. Let me start with Felix. Actually, no, sorry. It's Nyangi Ojuang. And by the way, guys, I know you had so many questions. I also had 5 that were not answered. So I'll have to ask on the side.
We'll reply in the chat.
So Nyangi Ojuang says, thank you for the financial wisdom. One of my goals for this year was to build my financial literacy, and your Friday sessions have been a gem.
Yay, thank
That's Nyangi. Lucy, always on spot, very informative. Keep it up. You have helped many. And Patience Moody as well, a comment. It's been very educative. I'm glad Rina does it with so much passion, and I enjoy every Friday session. Can't wait for 2021. I'm sure it will be bigger and better.
Amen.
So now, Rina,
Yes.
I can see there are so many other guys who have actually sent many messages. We'll go and reply and respond to all those things as well. Yeah. So it's a parting shot. Yeah. Parting shot for the year on the live session.
Yeah. I think the worst thing that you can do is do nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. The worst thing that you can do is do nothing. Imagine just take that risk, but get yourself informed, but don't do nothing. Save more, invest more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And do something about your finances. I don't care where you are right now, what has happened to you, whether you've lost your job or not. Imagine you still have, you're a gem. There's still opportunities for you. And not only that, there's something special that you are created to do on this planet. And you just need to tap into it. And if you just tap into it, invest in yourself and work hard, you will actually be able to do amazing. I have tons of stories of people who started with nothing and now doing very, very well. So remain hopeful, guys. Even in this season, remain hopeful. Something will come through for you. It will. Just keep at it and you will do well. And don't do nothing. Just keep at it. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah.
Celebrate it with your family and your friends. And God bless you.
All right. All right. That's our ending now. I have mine as well.
Yes.
So I think also as a giveaway, because sometimes, yes, I've read this book and I have my copy. I would want that offer as well to extend to some other 5 people.
Oh.
And so personally, I think if there's anybody who can't even afford that right now, they can still write to the email provided. 5 people, first 5 people saying why you need this book. Maybe it's tough to even get it at 50%. There are 5 free copies as well for you.
Hey, mine. But yes, I've said yes. Yes, we'll give 5 free copies.
Yeah.
The first 5 people.
Absolutely.
The first 5 people that write to sema@moneywise.co.ke saying, can I please have your book?
Yeah.
My name is, and my phone number, and we'll get in touch with you and give it to you for free.
Yes, done.
Done.
Wow, what a season it has been with the live sessions, and I hope you have enjoyed. Please make sure you send those lovely messages to Rina. You know, she has done all these things, giving you free information. We have to end, and sorry for extending the time a little bit more, but it was worth it for the year, and I hope that you have benefited. I've been your host, Maina Chege, hosting on behalf of Rina.
Thank you,
and
Maina.
hosting Rina. And yeah, we have enjoyed every moment of having you as company. Thank you so much. See you. Merry Christmas and bye-bye.